Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ask the Author Friday. Date of April 24th. Ask the Author Friday is my weekly opportunity to have a little fireside chat with you all. If you have any questions for future weeks, feel free to hit the comments section. If you enjoy this or any of my other content, feel free to subscribe. Let's go. Here we go. Small town or big city? You're writing your general fiction narrative. Are your characters from small towns or big cities? Usually from small towns. That's what I know. What I know is small town living. And even then, most of them are from Michigan. If you're tracking this, you can tell that I keep changing the names of small towns in Michigan. Okay, what is your place right now in a small town? At this point, I wish I knew. I wish I knew what my place was in a small town, and I'm never going to make it in the big city. Do you control the narrative, or does the narrative have a mind of its own? Loaded. In writing, do you control the narrative, or does the narrative have a mind of its own? It's a little bit of both. In writing, in prose, you start with a general idea. That general idea grows a mind of its own at some point, as long as you retain just enough control of the narrative to reel it back in and remind it that if it's supposed to be general fiction, let's not put sci-fi sword fights into it. If 1 minute you're in the middle of a fantasy sword fight, let's not redirect your characters to be on a bus on the way to work in the very next sentence. Let's pick the writer's brain. How's your brain working? I'm losing track of my words. I can't remember a thing. And I can hardly recognize all but 5 people anymore outside of the context in which I know them. You remove most people from the building or the environment in which I know them anymore, and I've got nothing. And we're a small town, and it's kind of boring around here, so people tend to have more fun than they should with the fact that I'm just not remembering them. Remembering, yes. Recognizing, no. Anyway. You're going on vacation. Yes, please. You're going on vacation. Where to? Even a couple days in Grand Rapids just before summer hits. Just take a couple of days outside of either of my jobs right now. Just unwind and reflect. Recenter. It's 2026. What invention would you hope to have seen by now? I was so young and naive back in the day thinking that the Jetsons flying cars would be awesome. Maybe the spaceboards from Thundercats, the ones that the Thunder Kittens flew around on. I was so young and naive thinking that those inventions would be awesome by now. What I need now is a fully sentient duplicate that can go to work for me for even a couple days. Pre-programmed with just enough personality and enough knowledge to do the job, and obviously waterproof if it's going to be working on the dish line. You think I'm kidding? I'm acting like I'm kidding. Pick a comic book hero. Let's see. There's one comic book hero that has gone from DC to Marvel by way of Star Comics to the little Mattel mini comics. You know where I'm going with this. Oh yeah. Yep, I'd pick He-Man in a second. You don't always get to be the hero. Pick a favorite comic book villain. A favorite comic book villain he'd share the list with Brainiac, Toyman, Darkseid, Red Skull, a little bit Magneto and Mystique, but I'm picking Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom, the Fantastic Four villain, and since I first saw him in animated form, he was a villain to everyone. Everyone except the X-Men. I don't think the X-Men ever met Doctor Doom. But I mean, I first saw him as a Spider-Man villain in Spider-Man 81. I'm pretty sure I know Namor the Submariner met Doctor Doom. I remember that episode now. Come to find out, he was primarily the villain of Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four. Anyway, this has been Ask the Author Friday. If you have any questions for future weeks, feel free to hit the comments down below. If you enjoy this or any of my other content, feel free to subscribe. You all have a good day and a better weekend. Blessings to you.